I can't get you to clean
Ceiling
the house. No, I
fan.
can't even get you to clean the house.
Well, no, I don't do that.
She's the domestic goddess. Okay, here's my story, real quick. I'm gonna be quick on this, all right? All right, I started my own business at 23 years old. I worked for my father when I was like 13 until I was 23. Went and started my own painting and sandblasting industrial coating business. That's what I did with sandblast tanks, water towers, line tanks inside, things like that. In 1992, I had to pass a respirator test to work inside of one of these jobs I had at Arco Chemical, and I didn't have the lung capacity to do it. To where if you're working up on a scaffold, you have to be able to have the lung capacity to climb down and get out of the tank if there's a problem. Well, I didn't have the lung capacity, so I couldn't get cleared to go in the tank. Well, I was the one in there supervising my guys that were working, and I couldn't get in the tank. So I ended up having to go to the doctor and find out what was wrong, and they said that a bunch of my lung capacity had been taken away from the painting over the years. And stuff that we used to use back in the 70s and 80s is stuff that they make you wear air-fed hoods on now. You know, I mean, really volatile two-component urethanes and epoxies and things like that.
Yeah, back then, yeah, people didn't wear respirators.
We just wore a little paper mask and away we went, you know. So I had to get out of that business. So I ended up selling my sandblasting and painting business, and I moved from Houston, Texas to Colorado, and got up there. Didn't know really much, you know, what to do with my life. I was at the time I was like 35 years old, 36 years old, and I kind of walked into a real estate office. I had a little bit of cash. I was going to buy some land and build a house. So I walk in, and back then the guy just hands me an MLS book. And he says, hey, in the back is all the vacant land. So he says, you know, if you see anything you like, let me know. He says, I'll take it out and show it to you. So he's sitting there with his feet up on the desk watching Fred Flintstone in this little office in the mountains, just watching the Flintstones in the middle of the day. So I said to him, I said, is this what you do all day long? He said, oh, I just wait for people to come in. I can sell houses too. And I said, well, how many houses a year do you sell? He said, oh, 10 or 12. I said, well, how much you make a year doing this? He goes, oh, 60,000 bucks. So I thought, geez, I could do this. So I said to him, I go, well, what would happen if you sold 100 homes a year? He said, well, you don't want to do that. That's too much work. So I'm thinking to myself, I can do this. So what I did is I went out, got my real estate license in '94. First year I sold 79 homes. The second year 123. The next year 178. The next year 194. Sold 574 homes in 4 years.
Is that a
now,
lot?
is that pretty good?
Does anybody know any other real estate agent that does that kind of business?
Yeah, that's
It's
like
the
a
same.
career for
So
somebody.
as you can tell, both of us, when it comes to our business, we are clearly both OCD or something. Because
Yeah.
he's like selling houses like crazy, I'm flipping houses like crazy, and
Yeah.
we do everything over the top, so.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Is there a laser on this thing? Is it the middle one?
Yep, the middle one.
The middle one.
There you
Oh,
go.
there we go. Good. I didn't want to push it and shut it off or something. All right, 1998, I started working with investors. I flipped 80 houses my first year in the business as an investor. Now, the thing is, I knew a lot of people because I was a real estate agent. I worked with these investors, selling them houses. See, that's the whole thing. A lot of realtors nowadays, what they do is they think, well, you know what? I need to sell the house as high as I can sell it so I can make as much commission on this deal. If I was an agent right now and I was working a market, I would go look for all the investors, all the landlords in town. I would get the prices as low as I could to turn deals as fast as I could so I could sell 50, 60, 80 houses a year and not try to get rich on one. You see what I mean? So it's all numbers to me. I'm a real numbers guy. I track my attempts to contacts, my contacts to motivated leads, my motivated leads to appointments, my appointments to signed contracts, my signed contracts to closings. How many deals do I want? How much do I want to make next year? I want to make 200,000 bucks. How much do you make on an average deal? $20,000. Okay, how many deals do I have to do? 10. To do 10 deals, how many contracts do I have to write? Well, if half my deals fall apart, I got to write 20. You see where the numbers go? How many people do I? How many motivated leads do I need? How many appointments do I need? How many people do I have to talk to? And once you figure that out, it's all numbers. Every business is all numbers. Who's ever flown before? Has anybody ever flown on a plane, a small little jet that says we need 2 people from rows 1 through 6 to move to rows 7 through 12? And then you see people sit there, I'm not moving. Well, what if the pilot just said, well, you know what, we're nose heavy, let's just give it a shot and see what happens. Everybody be like, well, hold on a second, let's talk about this. See, it's a numbers game. Okay, I started teaching in 2003, 2012, we sold 31 properties in California, Colorado, Florida, Ohio, and Texas. Now here's the thing, that's not a lot of properties. Not for somebody who has done all of these properties and all the properties she has done. However, we teach about 18 to 20 of these two-day workshops every year, plus we do about 30 or 40 of these teachings like we're doing tonight, plus we travel all over. So, you know, we're traveling all the time, plus we're still doing deals. So the thing is, the thing you have to remember...
The deal's pretty good with our schedule.
Yeah,
Do you
with our
guys be happy
schedule,
with
it
that?
is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of deals.
We closed 61 in 2011. So that was a lot of deals too. To date, I've closed 1,009 deals myself. She's closed over 1,000 deals, haven't you? But I'll never catch her because every deal I close, she takes credit for.
Now, here's the thing. When I first met Bill, when we first met, I had done like 1,000 and like 2 deals. And he was at like 850 something.
45 or 50, yeah.
So, but then we got married, like within that a year. So I said, look, I'm like 150 deals ahead of you. So for all the rest of your life, because we're married now, I said, whatever is mine, and what's yours is also mine. So I get to count your deals, so you can never pass me. Because no matter what, if he closes a deal, it's my deal too. So he can never pass me.
This deal we're doing right now, she hasn't spent 2 seconds on that deal, but yet she'll count it.
Oh yeah. Right, girl? So, I'm like, hey, we did a deal this week. I had nothing to do with the deal. I was like, hey, here's an acceptance letter. Are you working on a deal, honey? I didn't even know he was doing it.
Yeah,
So, yes.
that's our crew right now. That's my daughter Chris right here in the block. There's Dwan, Ayla's the one sitting out on the beach. There's myself and my son Will. My son Will comes out with me with our 2-day trainings. He goes out
He'll
and
be here this weekend, actually.
Yeah, he'll be here this weekend. That's right. He's 22. Yeah, how many people in here wish they were 22 again? Okay, how about 22 and knowing this business?
There you go.
Yeah, no kidding. Wait till you talk to Will this weekend. You'll be like, dang, this guy's like 22. He's like, acts like he's 40.
He does a lot of coaching and mentoring. And
Yeah.
at first he's like, oh, people want to take me seriously. I'm 22. I'm like, honey, you've been doing deals and helping rehab houses since you're 11 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, 11 years old, he's in there pounding nails and putting floorboards
Building
and
walls,
stuff and building
yeah.
walls. I said, people, you know, when you open your mouth and speak, people will be fine with your age. You don't, your age is not an obstacle. Because he already has literally 10 years of solid business. He helped Bill
Yeah.
close this whole deal. He did like this whole entire deal.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that's too bad that you're not getting any of it because, you know, the land's problems. He's getting a little bit.
He's getting it right. All right,
We're
today
gonna
for
give him like,
closure
you
summer.
know, 15 feet of space.
We're going to talk about wholesaling foreclosures in today's market. We're going to talk about 7 ways to find foreclosures your competition doesn't know about. We're going to talk about how to buy non-performing notes for less than 30% of the value of the property. Now that's a huge thing, buying first and second notes. Okay, we're hooked in with about 3 really nice hedge funds. And what they do is they give us a list of stuff that you guys can go ahead and pick up. Sometimes 8, 10, 12, 15, 18 cents on the dollar. Non-performing notes that you can reperform. Okay? And how to get your biggest bang when advertising, the missing link to internet marketing. That's a huge thing, the missing link to internet marketing. And I'm not going to tell you what it is until this weekend. Because when you look at it, you're going to be like, I never even thought about that. Wait till you see it. Okay, 10 ways to help underwater homeowners. 10 ways to help underwater homeowners.
This thing sounds like an interesting weekend.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time this weekend. We really are.
I hope all of you come. It'd be
Yeah.
really nice to have everybody there.
Learn bank-owned bulk wholesaling. We're going to talk about bank-owned buying in bulk, okay, wholesaling. The 3-offer short sale system. We're going to talk about really we're going to talk a lot about this. Why you need to know what a loan modification, forbearance, no equity deals, and a principal reductions are. Because remember, when we start talking to homeowners, it's all about what? Trying to buy them time. Yeah, I know 85% of the time, when I talk to a homeowner about some of these options, they're going to fail in the trial modification. They're going to fail when they try to make up the back payments. They're going to fail in their workouts with the bank. 85% of the time it happens sooner or later. They get into Chapter 13, 80% of them fail within the first 3 to 6 months because they quit making payments. I know that, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do effective lead follow-up. I'm helping them go down the path they want to go down, and then what I'm doing is when they get to the end of that path, they go, you know what, we just can't afford this. You've been helping us so much, we just need to go over here and do this. And that's fine. That's when, who are they going to want to work with? Me, because I've been talking to them, helping them through the process. If they save their house, great. You know what, that's the ultimate goal for them, to save their house. But I know most of them don't. Okay, I know most of them don't. So I'm going to be there to short the property. How to keep the conversations moving forward with the homeowners. It's all about give. How many, you know what, I need $3. Who has a dollar bill? Anybody got a dollar bill? I just need 3 $1 bills. All right, she just gave me one. You just gave me one. You have one? He's getting it. Thanks, man. Okay, good. Now you guys just gave me this. Here, I'm gonna let you have this. Okay, that's for you. Now, out of those 4 people, who wants to work with me? Person like you gave stuff to. She didn't want to work with me because I just took from her. I took from him. I took from him. But you know what? She loves me, doesn't she? See, she loves me because I just give her something. See, that's the whole thing you have to do with homeowners. Is give them. Feed them stuff. Feed them good information that can help them try to save their house. Okay? When you start putting the homeowners first, what you're going to find out is you'll have business coming to you so much. All right? You'll be like, gosh, where's all this business coming from? Because you're ultimately putting them first. You don't have to get rich on your first deal. All right? You got to remember, this is not, I mean, when homeowners fall behind on payments, they're not in the business to fall behind on payments. That's not part of their goal in life. Their goal in life is to pay their house off someday. So they fall behind in payments and they're going to lose their house. This doesn't happen to them every 2 or 3 years. This happens to them once or twice in their lifetime. You know, you're going to run into all kinds of deals because you're prospecting. You're out talking to homeowners. So you've got to do what's right for the homeowner all the time. Always put them first. You'll have more business than you'll know what to do with. And you have to learn how to take control of situations. You got to shut people down. You've got to go in. You've got to say, hey, listen, I totally understand what you're doing here, what you want to do. I'm with you. I want to do everything I can to help you out. However, here's what I've seen other homeowners in your situation do. And I try to redirect them into an area that might be better for them. Okay? You're going to learn that I like to take control of situations sometimes.
So you 3 don't be offended that you lost $1 because you gained a good tip. Because you know what? Most people are so concerned with how much money am I going to make, what am I going to make, what am I going to me, but they really don't think about the homeowner, and it really is not about you. Because, you know, one of the things that we always teach you, if you become a real estate investor, you have thousands of deals that you can do. I mean, we've been doing deals over 20 years. The homeowner is probably going to be in foreclosure just that once. They may fall back into foreclosure again, you know, 10 or 15 years. Sometimes people kind of recycle back around with their finances. They have one chance to start over, and you have 1,000 more deals that you can do.
Yeah.
So we really focus a lot of our energy on training you guys to be all about giving instead of being about taking, because it doesn't really matter what you make on that deal. Because you have another deal the next day, another deal the next day, another deal the next day. So if you make, you know, 10,000 on this one and 2,000 on that one and 80,000 on that one, it all accumulates. They have one chance to move and try to get a fresh start.
And you can't give them $500 to move. Can you move with $500 out of your house? Can you? No, you can't. So how do you expect them to do it?
Yeah, so many
This
people
lady right
teach
here,
that.
this lady that I put the sign in her yard that we just did the short on. I said, well, what do you really need to get out of this situation? She goes, I don't need anything. I just want out of this deal. And I said, well, we don't do deals that way. I said, I have to give you something. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $1,000. She goes, oh, well, that'd be great. So how much am I making on this deal? I'm getting 40 acres free. Wow. And I'm making how much? About $44,000. So what am I going to do? I'm going to give her $3,000 or $4,000. Now, is she going to be happy?
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to be ecstatic because what? I told her I was going to give her $1,000. Now, see, she's just a single mom with 2 kids. That $3,000 to $4,000, she's going to think she just hit the jackpot.
Especially the holidays are coming out.
Oh, that's going to completely change her at the end of the year.
You know, because we're going to
So
close
you know what?
it
You
October
always
31st.
give more than you say you're
We're
going
just
to
give her a
give.
bunch of cash. She'll
Yeah.
stop crying. We'll have a big hugging moment.
Yeah, we probably will.
The Las Vegas
Okay.
lights are going on.
Good luck. No. She
How to
better not go
close-
to Vegas. I'll go shoot her. She's a stay mom, man. Use that money.
How to close a deal, how to close a deal for $30,000 profit in less than 30 days. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how to close no equity deals in today's market for today cash. See, who wants cash now? See, we all do.
We
We're
all
gonna
do.
show you how to take these no equity deals and turn them into cash. I've got a guy right now that we're doing a live deal for in Colorado Springs. I just trained him 26th or 27th,
Yeah, just a
2
few weeks
days
ago.
in August, the last couple days of August. And we ended up generating about 4 deals in those 2 days. But he ended up putting this deal together on a house that's worth $220. They owe $220, and he's gonna make $60,000 on this house because of the no equity structure.
So you guys be happy about that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he
I
said
know.
to me, he
Right,
says,
Mike is just like, oh my God, he's just out of his
he's
mind.
just stunned.
He just posted
he's
things all over Facebook, all over the internet. I can't believe this deal. It's happening so fast.
Yeah.
We're like, honey, it's a normal deal.
Yeah,
There's a million more of these around the corner.
that's it. The downfall of the real estate investor. People get stuck behind their computers. It's an easy thing to do. It's an easy thing to do. I'm behind the computer a lot during the day because I'm writing programs, I'm coaching, and so is Dawn. And, doing all of our stuff, and it's easy to get sidetracked. Your day can get away from you real quick. That's why you've got to say, okay, I'm going to get on my computer from this time to this time, and from then on, I'm shutting it off. Because I have to do work. I have to work. Okay? And it's easy to think, oh, I'm on my computer, I'm working today. But you know what? You find out your bank account keeps going down. All right? When you're not getting anything done. Okay? You bought into another program that didn't work, or you just shelved it. You don't prospect. You don't go out and make the business, you don't go out and chase the business. You wait for the business to come to you. You don't have a reliable schedule. I've seen so many people get into our system, work it, go out and make $30,000 and then want to take 3 weeks off. And I'm just like, seriously? The momentum you're losing. You've got to keep the momentum going.
When's the best time to close a deal?
Right after.
Right after you close, Dawn.
You're just like, oh my gosh, look at all this money I have. Take that excitement and go do another deal.
And you think about the excitement you'll have after Saturday and Sunday. You'll be like, oh man, I'm going to go nail it now. You think that if you have that excitement every morning, can you imagine how successful you would be if you would have that excitement? But what happens in real estate? It happens in any business. You get excited when you learn something and you go out, and then after about 90 days you get beat down by real life situations and your life gets in the way sometimes. So what happens is, that's why it's so important for you to always come back and see us every 90 days or so we can re-energize you with what's going on and stay in the coaching. Okay? You don't know your scripts. You don't know what to say. You call a bank up the property's going to sale in 7 days. You say, I want to open a short sale package. And they say, we don't have time to do a short sale. It goes to sale next week. But what are you going to say to that? Well, we want to do a short sale on this. No, we don't have time to do the short. So what I want to do is, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to agree. I totally understand we don't have a lot of time now, do we? So do you want to extend the sale 30 days? Or do you want to work real hard with me and get the short sale approved so we can close before the sale date, which is best for you? Now what I did is just give them a choice. Well, we're not going to do either one. I totally understand. The homeowners have an attorney that advises them to file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You're not going to force them to do that, are you? And they say, well, we don't care if they file bankruptcy. It's not a problem. We'll just send it over to the bankruptcy department. All right, no problem. We'll go ahead and have that. What we're doing, we're just going through the script. We're just talking to the bank. But if they say, hey, we don't have time to do a short sale, and you just shut it down, you didn't get anywhere. You didn't help the homeowner out at all. Because the homeowners are going to come to you 7 days before it goes to sale. And you have to give them 3 options. 1, they can call the bank and see if they'll push the sale date back. 9 out of 10 times they won't. 2, they can file 13 bankruptcy. I'm not an attorney, I can't give you legal advice. All I can do is share with you, I've seen other homeowners do in your situation to buy time to stay in their home. Or 3, do nothing and lose your home. What do you want to do? You think I've ever said that to homeowners? See, it just comes out. I don't think about what to say. Because I know exactly what, I know my scripts. I know what I need to say to people to get them to take action. Okay? You don't have a good lead follow-up system. You have to be able to follow up, because if I'm out talking to homeowners and all of a sudden Johnny here is a lead, and then I'm going over here and I'm talking, what's your name? Ruben. I'm talking to Ruben, and I start working with him, but I forget about him, he's gone. I've got to follow up with him. If not, she might, or Keith might. They may follow up and take the deal from me. I have to stay in contact, so you have to have a good lead follow-up system. You're afraid to qualify people. That's a huge mistake that investors make, don't they? They're afraid to qualify people. Call people up and say, hey, listen, are you willing to do this? Are you ready to do this? You have to be willing to take action. You have to be willing to qualify people. Your lack of belief, all right? You lack the belief that you can do it again. I know a lot of investors that have done one deal, and man, they made 30 grand on the deal, and all of a sudden, they're just like, you know, I see them 6 months later, I go, what are you doing? And they go, well, I made 30 grand, but you know, I've been on vacation for a month, and you know, I went and paid this off and paid that off, and I said, well, what do you got for business? Well, I really need to get going back again. You know, that happens all the time. You know, that's because they lose the momentum. They don't believe they can do it again. So you need a system. Let's fix that. Okay? Now look at this. 10 steps to a real estate investing success. You got to get in the fast lane, guys. You got to get in that fast lane. You first have to have the motivation and the mental toughness, because there's a lot of people out there that are employee-minded. They work a job, they've always worked a job, and for them to leave that job and go out here and be an entrepreneur, that's a whole shift in a mindset. Because people think that if I work all week, I should get a paycheck at the end of the week, because they deserve that paycheck. But when you're in business for yourself, you may work all week and not do anything.
You might not get a paycheck for 2 months.
You might not, that's right. So that's a huge mental toll it takes on people. Do you have any type of business planning? Do you have any types of goals set? What about a time, schedule? If you have a full-time job, you can't commit full-time to the real estate business. You have to start out slow. Set a schedule. I'm going to work these many days, I'm going to work these many hours a week. Finding deals, you got to learn how to find deals. You got to learn your communication skill. You have to learn how to talk to people. It's not a business that you do on the internet, okay? Structuring deals. And I guarantee you right here, I try to do all your deals on the internet, somebody like me are going to take all your deals away from me when I come to town and work. Because you know what? Homeowners want to work with somebody they can talk to and see. They don't want to work with somebody that's hiding behind their computer. Okay? A lot of stuff's going back to old school. It is. Technology is great up here, and it's great to save us time. But you know what? It's not great when it's
But
talking to
people are
homeowners.
still people.
Yeah, people are still people.
People are
That's
still
right.
people, and people in foreclosure still have the same feelings people 10 years ago had
Yeah.
about losing their house. You
That's
know,
right.
I lost a house 20 years ago. I still can feel this thing of thinking, oh, this is so embarrassing. It's my husband, now my house. Could things be any worse? You know, like I still remember it. It's been 20 years. So people, you know, people like people.
And
That's
you
what
gotta-
makes me a good investor, because I know how my homeowners really feel.
And the thing of it is, structuring deals. You got to learn how to structure the right deal. Everybody takes that $228,000 or the $220,000 house that Mike Madison has, and immediately the guy owes $220. It's worth $220. First thing they do is they think, I got to short this. I've got to short this. I got a short sale. There's no equity. So what my son says, my son made this up. He goes, you know, focus creates blindness. When you're so focused on one thing, you're blind to everything else. And we notice that when we drive down streets of houses. When we see a rehabber working and we want to go talk to him, we miss 3 vacant houses over here because all we're looking at is the rehabber. We're not looking at the vacants to put signs in. You know, so the thing is, you have to really learn how to structure these deals. It's not always the one you think it is, the way to do it. You know, the structure that seems to be the easiest. Asset protection, that's a huge thing we're going to talk about. Long-term wealth. Investing in yourself and classifying your areas. Learning what areas to work. Because there's 5 different areas that you guys can work. There's 5 different areas.
Wait,
I'll go
before
through
you
some
go
of
through
these.
that, how many of you guys that do deals really know how to look at a neighborhood and on a 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best? Okay. How many of you know how to actually classify a neighborhood, whether it's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or 5,